Hello everyone, welcome back to AAS Publishing. This is part 3 of the video series on anonymity. In the first video we covered the single anonymous review process that the AAS journals generally use and the reasons why we do that anonymous review process. In the second video we covered some of the pluses and minuses of an alternative peer review process, an open peer review process. And in this third one, I want to cover a relatively new option that is offered to authors in the AAS journals, which is a double anonymous review process. But before I get started on that one, I thought I would mention a frequently played game. So most authors try to guess the identity of their reviewer from the comments or the recommendations. You know, you didn't cite paper XYZ that are in the report. It's great fun, entertaining for sure. And I will just say, when people come up and they get all hot and bothered about the report and I know person X did this report. Of course, as an editor, you're not either going to confirm or refute that guess. But I will tell you when people do come up and do this, that 99% of the time, their guess is incorrect. Nevertheless, it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I play it on my papers. So, keep going on it. But let's get to the double anonymous review process. So in a double anonymous review process, both the referee and ideally the authors are unknown to each other. So why might an author choose this option? So some researchers think it would result in a more impartial assessment of their manuscript. Referees, for example, might exercise some conscious or unconscious bias against researchers from certain countries, from certain ethnic minorities, women, and generally be kinder and softer to people that they already know within the field. And so double anonymous reviews, the argument goes, would remove those prejudices and perhaps increase their chances of getting through the peer review process and arriving at publication. So authors who do this, hoping that they might get a better pathway through the peer review process, might be a little disappointed by some recent studies from non-AAS journals. I'm not going to mention who this is, but these are generally non-AAS journals and generally not astronomy journals either. But that be what it may, the statistics of these studies, which were done in about 2017 or so, is that 25% of the papers that chose to do a double anonymous review were eventually accepted, while 44% for articles that went through a single anonymous review process ended up getting accepted. So at least for this study, again, non-AAS journals, non-astronomy, generally authors stood a better chance getting through the review process if it was a single anonymous mode. Still, the AAS journals is committed to doing its own experiment with the double anonymous, even if the uptake is only about 1% or so. So at the time of submission, there's an option. You can choose the double anonymous, and I would say in general, less than 1% of authors pick the option. But nevertheless, let's do the experiment. So one way we help doing that experiment is the journals redacts the authors' names, their affiliations, and the acknowledgments in any of the discourses that the scientific editor may have with the referee. So authors who choose this option can help themselves if they truly want a double anonymous review process by, first of all, don't post a full version of the paper immediately on archive. I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Makes it way too easy to find the same paper and look who the authors are. So hold off on publishing on archive until the peer review process reaches acceptance, and then you can post it on archive. Another thing you can do is not excessively self-cite. That would just be advice in general. But if you're trying to do a double anonymous process and 40-50% of the references are all to one group, kind of gives it away, so don't do that. You also want to avoid languages that say, as we showed in X et al. 2019, immediately identifying who we are. You want to avoid that kind of language, so try and choose more neutral. As showed in X et al. 2019. That will help authors who choose the double anonymous move that through a little bit more quickly and more anonymously, which was the point. So this is what I wanted to say on anonymity. If you have any questions or thoughts about the peer review process, whether it's single anonymous, double anonymous, whether it's an open review process, go ahead and drop me a line, send me an email. In general, I'll be happy to answer. I'm not hard to find online, and we'll go from there. Okay, thank you. Look forward to seeing you on the next video series. Bye-bye.